Good morning and welcome to the first round of the Simply Race Formula Series. We are going to come to you live from Milton Keynes the whole of this morning, and it's going to be the FT50 Championship that we're going to be racing at Mugello. Not too much to tell you about so far this season, as it is the first round, but we do have some competitors from the past you may recognise. Chris Hardwick is coming to defend sort of his championship from USSC, which we had in the USF 2000s last year. We also have drivers like Callum Cripps from Radicals and Alex Sadler, which is here to mix up the field a bit more. So I think the guys are back in their pods now, ready to start their first qualifying session for the season. We'll see how that goes. It's a one-lap shootout that's private, and we'll see how it goes for all of them before we get to the first race. Let's join them live now. So here we go then, just putting out of the pits, and I believe this is Michael Boulding in his own livery that he's made this morning. These Tatus cars are very similar to the USF we used last year. Both open wheelers, of course, a very similar power function, although they are a little bit more twitchy than I remember being the USF cars. Mugello is probably one of my favourite tracks to do in an open wheeler. In fact, in any sort of sport. Obviously very well loved by the two-wheel community and the bike community. Especially for all the Italians out there that love Rossi as well. Most of the drivers out here today will have a very similar looking car. Michael is one of the exceptions. Oh, I've already seen I've got a few comments on the stream going through already. We've got one from Emily Wilson, who joined us from the SRES last year. She was great, kept me company whilst I was very tired, saying good luck today to Cam Sport. Obviously I'm not supposed to be biased, I'll cover up the Cam Sport badge that's on my chest right now, but definitely good luck to our drivers, which we have Ben Brown, Colin Talbot and Christian Kelly for the Cam Sport. And also Callum Cripps has asked if we can order a caramel latte to pod 1. If you do come down to Simply Race, just to let you know, you do have the option of getting a very nice coffee from the machine down here. It'll keep you awake, especially in the endurance series. And Carl's turned up as well. Hi, Carl. Sorry we stole your driver. I should apologise now. Oh, okay, I'm not sorry. Mike said I'm not sorry. It's true, I'm not sorry. Ben Brown is a great driver. So, who have we got here, Mike, in picture? That is Christian Kelly that's in our smaller picture in one of the Cam Sport cars, number 14. I think Michael Boulding here on the main screen is just coming to start his first lap and his only flying lap. So let's hope he doesn't have any issues, because it can put you right towards the back of the grid. So here we are, heading down towards San Donato, the first corner of the track. Very heavy braking, going down to the second, sometimes third for some people. Long sweeping right-hander, which comes up towards the chicane of sorts, a very long chicane. Left-hander, sweeping through to the right-hander. Seems to have got a nice exit there, a little bit out, didn't go too wide, where you can lose a lot of time. Another left and right chicane, a lot of chicanes on this track. Yeah, track match there as well, right in front of me. Ah, okay. Oh, I've just realised that Mike's pointing out to me, I can see who's who and where they are on the track with the track map he's set up for me, as well as the one I can actually find the corners. I think the furthest along on the track at the moment is actually Michael Boulding. I think he was first out of the pit, so we might say our first lap time of going that round here at the moment. As it comes down towards another set of S's/chicanes before he heads towards another hairpin, and this is Colin Talbot, I believe. No, it's still Michael Boulding. Can't see it from the light. Long right hand again, leading to another chicane, which is flat out. Yeah, I'm still learning. Yeah, it's hard to do it on your own. Now I know a lot now what DJ has to deal with every time he's down here, and sometimes Mike and Grant as well. So now we see Michael Boulding coming to the last corner. This is the exit. And what sort of lap time? Oh, we've had a few lap times. So Sadler and Cripps has gone pole. See what Boulding does as it goes across the line. And he sits in... Oh, it hasn't come up with a time for Michael Boulding. Oh, he's gone to 6th. So Cripps has a 1:43.9. That is a very fast lap time, I can tell you that now. A 1:44 I thought was good. Christian Kelly comes round into 2nd, only 1/10 of a second away from him. I think this is Ben Brown coming across the line. No, it's not. It's Lopez. And Lopez puts it into 13th position, a 147, still respectable. But Cripps with that 143. Wow, what an impressive time. And that seems to be the end of qualifying. We'll just take a quick break now before we go back to the race. Welcome back, as we've got all of our drivers on the grid ready for our first round of the championship. As you saw on pole was Callum Cripps with a 1:43.9, and second place, actually, just to mention, is Christian Kelly with a 1:44.000. I like those first two lap times. They're very perfectionist, making sure you got zeros in both of them. Only a tenth between those two. Coming up in third is Alex Sadler, and he's got a 1:44.254, so we've got less than 4/10 of a second between the top three. In fourth place is kind of a reigning champion for the USSC, which is Chris Hardwick, with a 1:44.657. As we ride on board here again with Michael Boulding on our screen. Will Richardson, who is fifth place with a 1:45.0. Jason Eccles, who's done a lot of practice for this series, he's been down SR a lot and practicing well at home, is in sixth. Paul Day, who I've raced with recently, and he used to come here quite often. Haven't seen him quite so often recently because he's had a lot of work to do. But it's nice to see him back in the championship in seventh. Michael Boulding has qualified in eighth in the middle of the pack. Sure, it's not where he'll want to be, but we might see one of those patented Boulding launches off the line where he flies past everybody. We'll see what happens. Phil Cox, new to this championship, is in ninth. Edson Manguera, who's been in the SRBC this year and also the SRES, is in 10th. Pedro Baptista is a name I know. I'm sure he's been down here before for another championship, maybe a one-off race, in 11th. Stuart French in 12th. I've heard he had a slight incident on his one-lap qualifying. Carlos Lopez in 13th. Ben Brown in 14th, another issue for him on track, and also for Colin Talbot in 15th at the rear of the grid. Both those Campsport boys looking to go forward, I'm sure of it. So we'll join them back now, as it looks to be they are coming around Corontal here towards Biondetti 1 and 2, which is actually flat out on this track, just to let you know, in fifth gear. I bet in real life that's probably quite scary, but very enjoyable to take part in, as we head towards the final corner of Pacini, which is a very long left-hander, which you can gain so much speed out of down the straight. I don't know if I could put money on who I'd expect to win in this race, because in practice the times are a little bit all over the place, and tyre wear is a major factor in this series. So it's a 45-minute race with one pit stop mandatory, and you have to change tyres. And believe me, you will need it, because those tyres will not be loving you if you try to go the entire race. So as we're pulling up to the grid, Cripps here, trying to keep his tyres warm and warm at the brakes and the tyres as he pulls into first place grid spot. And we're going to have to wait for the rest of the grid to line up before we get the lights coming on. Let me know your predictions on who you think will win. I'm going to have to go Christian, as he's a teammate of mine. Well, I wouldn't say it's a bad bet to go on Cripps or to Sadler for this one. As we line up, we wait for it to go green. Oh. Waiting. Marshall holds his head to his headset. Are we ready to go? I can hear the pips. Engine notes rise. And away we go for the first race of the SR Formula Series. Looks like they all get away quite well. The back of the pack is actually moving almost 5 abreast down the straight. We ride on board here with... Oh, jumping around a little bit. Who's this in the red and black car? Looks like there's no contact through the first corner so far, which is a great start for all these drivers. Oh no! I believe that was Christian Kelly that got a little bit loose and went off onto the outside. That's unfortunate after qualifying second. And now the two Radicals boys have pulled away into first and second. So it's Cripps and Sadler in second, Hardwick in third, looking to defend his title. And Richardson's made his way up to fourth as well. Riding on board here with, I think this is Michael Boulding. He has made up 2 positions off the start, one probably from Christian Kelly and one going past Paul Day, as he's looking to line up Jason Eccles for his next position. Oh. This is going through to, I think he's in P6, I'm trying to come through to P5. As we go through Scarperia, heading towards Pelagio, turn 11 of the track, then towards another right-hand hairpin. You can already see Callum Cripps coming through at the front of your picture, being closely followed by Sadler. This is a tricky corner. You can get a double apex or you can take a single apex. It could be second or third gear. As Boulding comes under pressure now from Paul Day. Flat out section through here, through the Biondettis. as we head toward Buccini for the first time, and the first lap will be completed. Harsh braking down to third gear, carry the speed, sometimes second if you want to try and get on the power early. Wash out quite wide, take as much room as track as you can. And now it's flat out now all the way down to the first corner of San Donato. This is one of the longest straights of any circuits, well, main championship circuits in the world. You can get, and these cars will be bounced off the rev limiter already in sixth gear. Baldwin goes defensive from Paul Day as he looks to the outside. Has he gone deep? No, he's kept it quite tight. Oh, he's washed out wide on the exit. This is allowing Eccles to get away from him now as he's defending quite heavily from Paul Day. And we have a replay here. This is the first lap, first corner. This is Christian Kelly. He's out wide. He's trying to keep it. He's on the slippy stuff and he's lost it. And unfortunately into the barriers. So that's how Kelly lost all those positions at the start of the race. He was down in 15th and he's back into, I think it's 12th place now. So he's making a slight recovery. He's a bit on his own by the looks of it. Who are we on board with here? This might be Phil Cox, is it? In 15th place. Seems to be riding a lonely race. Very new to the series. He was actually quite quick in the practice, though. Very fast driver indeed. Well, as he now heads towards Scarpari and Pelagio himself, as we saw last track, this is quite a fast chicane. If you don't know Mugello very well, the best way to describe it is lots of chicanes and lots of hairpins and lots of overtaking points. This heading down towards Corontal, before he goes towards the Biondetti chicanes, the Biondetti 1 and Biondetti 2, set flat out through this section. And now we're on board here with Chris Hardwick coming down the straight in third place. He seems to be losing a little bit of time now to Cripps and Sadler, and Richardson's not letting him get away with it too much. I wonder whether Cripps and Sadler will be working together in this race. And I've just caught that someone's actually headed off the track. And I can't see who exactly it was because I missed the track map at the time. Just seen I've got a comment from Carl Bramshaw here which says Ben Brown for a top 6 finish. He's currently in 9th. He's made his way up from 14th to get there, so I wouldn't put it against him. Benny's quite a good driver. We've seen him in the SRBC before. And he's a very consistent driver. As we're riding on board again with Chris Hardwick as we go down through Casanova and Savelli, heading towards Arrabbiata 1 and Arrabbiata 2. Trying to get hungry to say those two names if you love pasta. It's almost flat out through these two corners as we head towards Scarparia. It's pulled out a little bit of a gap now on Will Richardson in 4th place. Probably trying to focus. Now he's got his lines right, he's trying to focus on catching the two in front, and Sadler has really closed down on Callum Cripps at the front. Obviously inter-team rivalry going strong here. Yeah, where's Rob Cuss to sort these two out? Need him down here in case something kicks off. So far Callum Cripps has done a 1:43.7 as the fastest lap of the race, followed by Alex Sadler, a 1:43.9. They're the only two in the 1:43s at this moment in time. We'll see if anyone else can get on that pace. As Sadler's in the slipstream now of Callum Cripps, I can see coming down the straight out the exit of the last corner. I wonder if he'll play the long waiting game or whether he'll go for it now. So here we are again with Christian Kelly on his recovery drive. Fastest lap from Alex Sadler, 1:43.5. That's a very quick lap time on almost a full tank of fuel. Side by side, I think that's Paul Day there with Stuart French. Also, who's that has gone wide? It's allowed Christian Kelly through. That's Manguera who's gone wide at turn 1 at San Donato. It's allowed Kelly another position, so he's back into 10th now with Christian Kelly. Now looking to chase down team out Ben Brown. Oh, Ben Brown goes wide there and onto the gravel. Not really what you want with these open wheeler cars. You can get dragged in quite quickly, and you can get beached on this track, believe it or not, if you head into those gravel traps which have quite a deep set of gravel to stop you heading towards the barriers. Going on now with a purple, orange and white car. This is the Alex Sadler and Cripps battle. He's dropped a little bit back from Cripps now. He's probably feeling the pressure, having to push a bit more. Cripps earlier was saying he wasn't too sure of how his pace would be, but it seems quite good at this moment in time. He was worried about how easy it is to split yourself off when you're pushing for that lap time. as they head into Tower towards the Biondetti chicanes. Flat out section, not much time to be gained here, but you can pick up a nice slipstream if you're in there. A little bit far back for Alex Sadler as we come down to the final turn of Buccini. I wonder if they take this in third or second. I'd love to be able to see what they are on board when they're coming down this track. And here we are. Mike does help me with an onboard. So here we are in fifth gear already, coming towards the start finish straight, sixth. So we've already hit the top gear in these cars before we've even gone across the line. Starting lap now. Quite close to the pit lane exit as you go along here. Taking a nice wide line for the entrance to San Donato. You're already hitting the rev limit ages ago. You want like an extra 2 gears in these cars. That's a nice line through there from Alex. Gains a bit more time on Callum Cripps there. Left-hand turn. Through to the right hand, another chicane. So that's Luco through to Pedro Secco. As we go towards the next set of chicanes, which is Matarassi. Oh, I can hear a groan in the background. I don't know exactly who's gone off. Try and see on the track map who's... no one's sitting still. Maybe they've had a slight contact with someone on the track. Alex now comes through Casanova into the left-hander of Savelli, and then the flat-out section here of Arrabbiata 1 and Arrabbiata 2. I'm sure tyres are already screaming for being cooked going round here. Does he put a lift? Not really any lift, but throws it in, flat out. Did lift. Mike's quarter did. He can hear it. I can't hear him lifting. As we go through the right-hand corner of Scarperia, left of Pelagio. Corintao, our next corner, which is a right-hand chicane. Is it going to be third or second? Which does he take? Late on the brakes, down to third. Keeps it in third. Second. Gets the power coming out of the corner. And Mike's helped me out so I can hear the cars in the background now. Hopefully it's not coming too high up through the mic. But Mike can hear that as well. Through the flat out chicane and towards the last corner. It's stayed quite consistent through this lap. It's a good lap from Alex, but Cripps seems to be just as good as he does in this lap. Stays in third through the last corner, as expected. Out quite wide on the exit, gain all the speed. And that is a lap of Mugello in Italy. Seeming pretty consistent now, so they've got a big lead back to Chris Hardwick, who's 4 seconds back of these two. Try and see who's doing their best laps at the moment. Michael Baldwin did his best lap that last lap with a 1:44.6. He's currently riding around in 5th behind Will Richardson. We are on board right now with red, black, whites. Stuart French. So he had a bad mishap in qualifying, which ended up with him being quite towards the back of the grid. He's made up quite a few positions, 6 places in this race already, as he chases down Michael Baldwin. These cars are a bit twitchy coming out of these corners. You don't think they'll hold quite well on the downforce, but once you start getting twitchy, you can go around quite easy. And he seems to have the measure of this car now. And in the background, just behind French, you can see Paul Day coming, the increasing pressure from Christian Kelly as well. Heading down towards the Arrabbiata, these are my favourite corners on the track. There is a slight lift, as Mike picked up on the corner last time, coming to Arrabbiata 2, just to straighten the car up and power it out of the apex. And then up towards Scarperia, another right-hand start of a chicane. And out through Pelagio, the left-hander. I take these ones in third. Some people take them in second. It's all about personal preference and what drive you want getting out of the corner. Stuart's been down here quite often. He's someone I've raced against myself. He's quite an experienced driver at Simply Race. And I'm not sure about real life so much as well, but he's a quick driver here for definite. As he comes to a complete, I think this is lap. Oh, I lost track of the laps. I'll try and keep that one up later. But into Buccini, coming out of the corner, gets as much speed as possible. And I'm sure now that Michael Baldwin is catching up to Will Richardson as well in front. As Christian Kelly has overtaken Paul Day into the last corner. I can see in the background as they go side by side down the straight. Just 1 place behind Stuart French. Oh, the leaders are fighting as well. This is Alex Sadler now in front of Callum Cripps. I think that probably happened at turn 1. Or maybe Callum's trying to save his tyres a bit more. I don't know if that will help being behind. Definitely help saving fuel, but he's definitely going to overheat being back there. So I'll take a quick look at their last lap time. So last lap, yes, he was 3 tenths faster than Callum Cripps was Alex Sadler. So he's obviously still got the pace in him to try and break away. He's already looking to make a gap on Callum. As they go head through Arrabbiata again. That's Arrabbiata 1 they're taken care of. Slightly heading towards Arrabbiata 2. Alex in his purple and orange machine. Oh, here's a replay from my car director, and who is this? This is the overtake, it looks like. Alex Sadler right in the slipstream of Callum Cripps. Goes towards the outside, Callum defends. Who's later on the brakes? They're both about similar. Callum goes a little bit deep. Alex gets the undercut. That's a great move, well thought out there. I thought Callum might have kept that one, but great move from Alex Sadler. And we head back live. This is live with Ben Brown, who's now also closing in on Paul Day. Paul had a good start to this race. He looks like he's suffering and heading backwards a little bit now as the Cam Sport boys are got him in a sandwich. I've had a question for people before saying it's not really a Cam Sport sandwich because you name it after the filling. So maybe it's a Paul Day sandwich, really. Ben Brown in the green lined Cam Sport car, Christian Kelly in the purple, and Paul Day in the black and green Tatus car. Paul Day is also car number 4, just for your spotter's guide if you ever want to find them. And Will set Richardson in 4th place, set his fastest lap last lap was a 1:44.9, so he's trying his best to try and pull away from Michael Baldwin, but Michael Baldwin was actually a 10th faster than him, so that's another one to look out for later on in this race. It seems Ben Brown is closing now, up through the left-hander, through to the right, as we head towards Casanova, which is a very fast downhill right. It's a slight dab on the brakes. I'm in the wrong position on the track by the looks of it, because that's a left-hander. I'm definitely in the wrong position on the track. As I pick it back up live here. So now this is Casanova. I was a bit early on the track. As we head towards Arrabbiata 1. Not taking as much curve there as Alex Sadler and Callum Cripps were, as we saw earlier. They must be gaining a little bit more speed. Hence why we have this big gap. And I can see that there's actually a second gap from Sadler to Cripps now. So Sadler has taken advantage of getting into first. Ben Brown closes again as we go through Scarperia into Pelagio on the left-hand turn. Just in front of your picture there, you could see Baldwin right on the back of Will Richardson as well. This is all closing together quite nicely. As we ride on board, well, live watching Michael Baldwin as he chases down Will Richardson. We've still got 30 minutes left in this race. We're not even a third of the way through this race yet. We'll probably be wondering how these tyres will be coping with the heat going through them. This is the best time now for Baldwin to see how much ground he can make. It's a flat out section, so of course you're going to top out halfway down the straight, so you don't gain any more speed from that point. Well, I don't know. He told me earlier he was practicing his dive bomb moves. I'm hoping he doesn't practice too late now and takes one out. He thinks about it and pulls back in behind Will Richardson. Has Will gone deep? No, he's kept it tight. So these two will go around another lap again as Baldwin tries to find a way through. Of course, the more you keep dodging around the back, the more you wear those tyres and the faster it's going to run out, and then his lap times will drop as well. And looking behind him, he's also going to have to be wary of Stuart French just in case he catches onto the back of him. Christian Kelly's not that far behind either. Heading through the right. Oh, sorry, twisting my back. Heading down, this is towards Casanova. As we come out of Casanova through Savelli, left-hander. Arrabbiata, the flat-out corners. Again, not so wide on the exit there. I saw Christian Kelly take, Stuart French take quite a wide line, so he's probably got more. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it. He's into the wall. He's round again. And both of them lost it. Will Richardson and Michael Baldwin have lost it and didn't collect anyone on the track. That's lucky no one collected them, but that's really unfortunate, Michael Baldwin. Oh, there's another one off in the gravel there. Can't see who that is quite, but they're just, I think that's still Will Richardson lost in the back. So Michael Baldwin has now dropped all the way down to 8th position from that, and Will Richardson is down in 11th position. I think Mike is going to fervently work here to try and find us a replay of what happened there, but that's such a shame for both of them. They were looking for a nice close battle. Of course, that's promoted Stuart French into 4th, 8 positions up on where he started this race. And here is the replay that we have. So she's at Arrabbiata 1. Richardson comes out of it, catches the grass, goes off, and so does Michael Baldwin on the inside as well. And he's stuck in the gravel. There's nowhere for Will Richardson to go. And it's quite deep in there. Getting out of there is really hard. So he tries to turn and pull it back towards it. Oh, slide out, and he's gone round. Oh, that's really unfortunate for Will Richardson. He's a very nice guy. And in USC last year, first round he turned up and he came home in 2nd place. They are really hard to get out of those gravel traps. Believe you me, I got stuck in one the other day, and it's better to just reset your pod if you're in a practice session than to try and get back out. As we see, another slide. contact there. I think that was between Edson Manguera and Jason Eccles. I didn't realise Eccles got that far back, to be honest with you. Tried to sneak down the inside. He seems to have lost it. He's held it, though. I can see him still on the track behind him. Shame for Jason Eccles. I thought he was a lot further up. I didn't see any incident earlier on, but he's obviously trying to make ground and come back towards the front. And this is Michael Boulding we're watching here live. He's now got to try and get past Paul Day and make his way forward all over again. I'm wondering whether people will start thinking about tyres. It's not halfway through the race yet, but we're getting close. And here is a replay. Oh, it's a late lunge, but there's lots of room, Oh, I'm not sure how I would call that one, to be honest with you. I'll leave that to race director, which is Grant Lyman, for this one. Edson kind of held his line, but maybe he didn't quite see Eccles on the inside. Oh, that's a very shiny car. I believe that's probably going to be Ben Brown, because he asked for chrome paint rather than matte like the rest of the team. So that's why it's super shiny when it comes through. These cars obviously have the new shaders from RF2 as well. And it looks like Carl is right, because Ben is in 6th position. That is a top 6. So if he stays there, then you will have your top 6 position, Carl. That's a good shout. Very good shout. Not unless Paul Day has something to say about it. I know he's got past him, but he's still there in the background hanging on, wondering what he can do with it. Let's take a quick look at our lap times, as the field's all kind of spread out now after that little bit of action that happened earlier. So currently in first we have Alex Sadler, who's currently leading from Callum Cripps by 2.6 seconds. That is quite a large lead now that Alex has got. And his last lap was 0.5, so half a second faster than Callum Cripps, which shows you where he's gaining this time from. Oh, who's that on the edge of the grass there? They're going very slowly. Couldn't quite catch who that was. I know it was black and purple. Let's try a quick look down here. Let's see. That was Phil Cox. I wonder if he went off and just lost a lot of time. He is down in 15th. This is his first race in the championship, remember, so he's still learning the ropes of how difficult it can be to keep up the pace for 45 minutes in one of these close races, which, to be fair, a lot of these drivers have a lot of experience in. Ben Brown, obviously for the ERB Racing last year, has joined Campsport this year. We're hoping to use him to good effect in the SRES. He's a very consistent driver. Doesn't mean he's a bad sprint race driver either. Early this year in the SRBC in the Clios, there's a yellow flag in the first sector I can see just popped up. Possibly Pedro Baptista, who's in 14th. But Ben Brown is a very consistent driver. Like I say, he's very good in single-seaters as well. And here's a replay. This, I believe, is probably a Pedro Baptista. Gets a bit twitchy. A bit wide on the exit there. And it's gone round. That's unfortunate. I thought he might have been able to hold that. So again, Pedro is new to our championships as well this season. I'm sure he'll get stuck in and learn the ropes a bit more as the more rounds he turns up to, and be right on the pace of all the other drivers. As we're back live now, this is with Michael Boulding down in 8th after that incident earlier where he just clipped the grass and spun himself into the barriers going through Arabiata 1 and 2. It does look like he's closing down on Paul Day, to be fair. This is a very nice livery that Michael Boulding has done. Purple, red and white with the number 7. He's done this one himself. I think it looks rather nice. I don't know if Mike agrees with me, I'm nodding the head or yeah, he's agreeing. He says it looks very nice as well. And Paul Day in one of our green and black liveries. We do have a lot of liveries anyone can use, different colours down here at Simply Race if you want to come to the next round. Again, it's limited to 15 places. You have to get in early. There's one spot left for next round. So yeah, we've already booked 14 people for next round. So if you want to be that one that joins us for the next round of a championship, where's the next round? Where's the next round, Mike? I can't exactly remember. I know we've got Dubai Autodrome at some point, but I don't think that's round 2. I'll have to look for that later on. Have a quick look on my phone later. As again, we watch Michael Boulding here. I'll keep forgetting the name of this corner, so I'm not going to pretend I know it. Another S's is the best way to put it. Oh, it's a nice, lovely red car. So they're not all black with stripes. So this is, yes, it appears to be Carlos Lopez, which is red, blue and white. I couldn't quite see the number 8 number on the car. I can now, just about go into shot. So he's coming through Corental now as we go towards the Biondetti chicane. Flat out through there as Mike searches frantically for what the next round of the SRF is. Lopez is actually in 12th right now. Again, I think this is his first round in the championship here at Simply Race, so he's doing quite well. And the next circuit is Dubai. It is Dubai Club Circuit. So if you want to come to that, which is on December the 15th, do book in with Simply Race. We'll happy to take a phone call up for us, and we'll book you in for it. So 23 minutes to go of this race. I haven't been looking too deeply on whether people have come in for tyres or not yet. I wonder if do we have a pits number that we can add to the overlay mic, so we can see if anyone's coming to the pits at any time, because we're getting to around that sort of time where we're halfway through the race now, and people will probably be looking for those fresh tyres. Some might want to go later and get low fuel so they can get fast lap times, and there we have it. Mike's just put it up for us. There is one pit stop, so Will Richardson seems to have come to the pits, so maybe he's on fresh tyres after that incident early when he went into the gravel. I'm sure the tyres probably weren't too healthy after that trip into the gravel anyway. Oh, that's not very nice, Chris. So just looking at our comment, Emily, who's worked really hard with us. Chris had stolen my phone to watch, but it's great to see Christian recovering from the early incident. It is, actually. We're really disappointed after the first corner, but he's done a really good recovery drive. He's up into 4th again now. He's 15 seconds off the leader, but you never know what can happen in these races, so you got to keep going. The fact he was in 15th after the first corner shows that he's worked really hard. But thanks for joining us again, Emily. And make sure you give Chris a jab in the ribs for stealing your phone. I mean, we do all want to watch it, but surely you've got a tablet or somewhere you can watch it. YouTube, Facebook, or he'll have to buy his own phone. He has got his own phone, hasn't he? Yeah, he can get his own phone. As again, we're watching here Lopez as he comes through Biondetti 2, coming down towards Bicini for the last corner. Apologies if I pronounce any of these names wrong. I'm not Italian, so it's hard for me to get them all perfectly right. So third gear corner, comes out towards the exit, and then flat out down the straight towards the finish. It's a lovely track. I don't know if anyone else will say it's their favourite track. Oh, it's Paul Day off. Gravel into the barriers. And that is at turn 1 of San Donato. And he's lost quite a few positions as Eccles goes past him. Now Day is demoted to 9th. Next behind him is Will Richardson, who's probably on fresh rubber. I can also see Paul Day's also going to the pits. Maybe he got some fresh rubber and came back out. Cold tyres, maybe. Maybe this is what's happened. He's recovering now and trying to get back. He's under lots of pressure now from Will Richardson. As we head down towards now to Casanova. From Casanova, he's going very defensive there. Maybe it's the cold tyres still. Up to Arrabbiata 1 and 2. Tyres won't like it if they're cold here still. Hopefully they'll have been warmed up after that excursion onto the gravel. Arrabbiata 2 up the hill. Really off camber. It's on camber corner, but it's a lot more tricky than you think. That was almost contact between Will Richardson and Paul Day. Wasn't expecting that break in there from Paul Day. Again, the cold tyres coming out of the pits maybe playing into this one. It looks very soon that Will is going to make a move here on Paul Day. Is it here? Paul Day's gone wide again, coming out of Corental as we go towards Biondetti 1, Biondetti 2. The last overtaking place here is down at Bicini for the last corner. Will he risk it here, or will he wait till the actual start finish? He goes wide, takes a good line there. Does I've forgotten his name now. Does Will Richardson? So looks to gain lots of ads. We see Jason Eccles dive into the pits, looking for some fresh boots. And a replay here from Mike Yao. Ah, yes. So he's come out of turn 1, gone really wide, and just smacked into barriers. And I'm guessing that was off fresh tyres. So unfortunate for Paul Day. Doesn't seem to have lost too, but oh, here's Will down the inside. At turn 1, that San Donato went off earlier, maybe a little bit hesitant after what happened to him last lap. That puts Will back up into 7th, and Callum Cripps is in 6th. And it doesn't look like he's pitted, so it looks like Cripps has had an off somewhere. We'll try our best to try and find out when that happened, but yeah, Callum Cripps is down in 6th, and Alex Sadler is now in the lead in a world of his own with almost a 12-second lead to Chris Hardwick. Here's a replay from Mike Yao again. This is the overtake. Will Richardson dives to the inside. Paul Day gives him all the room in the world, and that's done and dusted before we even get to the apex. Great move from Will Richardson, timed that perfectly, and good job from Paul for allowing the move to happen. On board here with number 9, this is Phil Cox, who's down in 15th place at the moment. He is a lap down, but again, it's his first race of a championship. He's doing quite well to keep it in a straight line. I think that's Manguera that is behind him there, looking to put another lap, put a lap between him and Phil Cox. Phil going very tight to the inside line there, allowing the pass. Another replay. This is Callum Cripps. So he has pitted. This is why he's dropped down the order. I just didn't see it pop up on the screen. It hasn't actually turned up on here, unfortunately. So he's out, and that's why he's dropped down to 6th place. Put some fresh tyres on early, and Alex has obviously risked it and stayed out a little bit longer on those old tyres to see if he can gap it. I wonder if Callum will get that undercut. Yes, I am happy you're on your own phone now, Chris. And yes, go Cam Sport. Obviously non-bias. The two radicals, and Cripps is back into 2nd place now, so everyone must be diving into the pits for their tyres now. Must have had enough. They're screaming in agony. But a 30-second lead for Alex. He must not have pitted yet. He's still going. It's very brave, because if they suddenly let go on you, they will spit you into the gravel. Oh, he has gone in now. Mike's just told me, so... Oh. And I can hear some shouting in the background, but I'm not 100% sure what's going on. It's just shouting at our race director, Grant, is all I heard. Mike's furiously searching to see if we can find anything. We still watch now, Phil Cox going down, heading towards Casanova, with Stuart French in front of him. It's the right hand of Casanova and left through Scarperia. Oh no, wrong. Savelli towards Arrabbiata 1 and Arrabbiata 2, then Scarperia. I should have got that right, to be honest with you. I love Scarperia. Sorry for butchering this track to everyone that's watching live. It seems to all... This is the confusing. I can see now that Alex Sadler has come into the pits. It's just popped up on the timing screen. So he has now come in for the pits now on lap 15, heading towards lap 16. Let's see how much Callum can close down, or if he has closed down the time to Alex Sadler since he's dropped into the pits. He was about 3 seconds down when he came in. So Sadler's still come out in front. He's just left the pits now. So Callum's got a lot of work to do if he wants to catch on to his teammate. It is on the timing screen is 10 seconds, 9 seconds now, so he's got 9 seconds to make up. And with Alex's pace, I think that's quite a tough ask, especially on low fuel. I wonder if he'll get any fastest, I ask, and it appears. Fastest lap, 43.3 from Christian Kelly. Again, a solid recovery drive from him after the incident at turn 1. And I will say that he's feeling a little bit worse after a little bit of a night out last night, so maybe that put him off at the first corner. But he's done very well. With that sort of lap time, he can be looking to be on the back of Chris Hardwick. In fact, I think there's only probably a second between those two. They look quite close together on the track, according to the gap to first. So Kelly's possibly on the race now for 3rd place. And there we are on screen. Mike is very good with this camera work. You ask him something and he puts it straight up. It takes him a couple of seconds, not even that. So Christian Kelly in the Cam Sport black and purple car chases down Stuart French in the black with red stripes FT50. It's Chris Hardwick, isn't it? I'm not doing very well today. I thought Stuart French was in the black and red, so I've been slightly confused there. Is it grey and red, is what I'm being told. Maybe it is. If I look down it is actually grey, red and white, you're right. You're 100% correct. Grant did provide me with a car number, spotter's guide, and also the actual colour. I might just be nasty and ask him to actually put the colours down over the actual name, so I can just see the colours rather than trying to read the word next time, because I'm not very quick at finding each one. And Kelly's right on the back now of Chris Hardwick. This looks like he's going to make a move. Is he thinking discretion is a better part of valour? Nope, he's heavily inside. He's taken the inside line. Chris Hardwick's left him room. And you can see him in the mirrors there. So that's a great move from Christian Kelly as he moved into 3rd place, looking to get a podium in his first race in his championship. Tall ask now to get back to Callum Cripps and Alex Sadler, I would say, with another 8-second gap in front of him to Callum Cripps. But it's a great recovery drive after what happened at the start of the race. And Chris Hardwick can see this season isn't going to be as smooth as last year with being able to take victory after victory. He did have pressure last year, but this year it seems he's going to have to up his game a little bit just to get there. I can see a cringing face there on our cameraman and slight race director Mike Yao, because he sees something that I haven't picked up on yet. As we watch now with Chris Hardwick trying to latch onto the back of Christian Kelly. Maybe now Chris can learn a few lines from Christian in front of him. As we head through Corontal into Biondetti 1, Biondetti 2, down towards the very fast open hairpin of Buccini to finish another lap, which would be lap 18, I believe. Alex Sadler sets the fastest lap of the 1:42.8. That is red hot pace. His wheels must be on fire. I know they're fresh rubber, but that is faster than I believe that we did in qualifying by a long way. Fastest qualifying lap was a 1:43.9, and he has absolutely decimated it by over a second. The next fastest lap to him is a 1:43.5, which is 7 tenths back. This is looking like he's got it in the bag as long as he keeps it all in line and gets to the end of the race. Here is a replay. This is Paul Day, it looks like. Goes slightly wide. Oh, it's going to touch the grass. Oh, he's gone round, and poor old Edson's had nowhere to go but into the front of the car. That's ended badly for both of them. So Paul Day is now down in 12th position after this, and they struggle to get back on track, these cars do, they really do. There's Edson on the inside, stuck on the grass as well. They really struggle to get back on. They just slide all over the grass as you try to put the power back down. Back live here. This is with Paul Day, I believe, no, Pod 4, which is yes, Paul Day, down in 12th position, as he's looking to try and close in now on Colin Talbot, who's quietly made his way back up to 11th after he was down in 14th place earlier. So he must have dived into the pits early to get his pit stop out of the way. I wonder how that will work out for him at the end of the race, as we have 11 minutes to go in this race. So not long left at all. And we have, I think it's almost every driver except for Phil Copps on the same lap, because Pedro Baptista has also completed 18 laps at this moment in time. I still can't believe that, 1:42.8. That is ridiculous. You can see it on your screen now, and I see Callum's put in a 1:43.3 as well, but wow, a 1:42.8. This is Michael Boulding, who's chasing down Ben Brown. That top six is under threat now, Carl. And Michael Boulding is a very good driver, and he's a very cunning driver as well, and he gets better towards the end of the race. He's quite good on tyres. He was in the Clios. We saw it happen a few times. And Ben Brown will probably be feeling all sorts of pressure as we head down towards San Donato for what will be the 19th time in this race, or 20th time in this race. This is lap 20. As he closes in again on Ben Brown. I remember Ben had a lot of trouble in practice with keeping it nice and straight and narrow on the track, but finishing sixth would be great for him after he was really feeling unconfident coming into this round. I could hear Mike laughing in the background. I don't know what he's seen, but it's probably turned into a bit of a war of attrition at the back of the grid now. As Boulding closes again even further onto Ben Brown as we head down from Casanova through Savelli towards Arrabbiata 1 and 2. Again, not taking as much curb as we see Callum Cripps and Alex Sadler take. Arrabbiata 1 complete, heading towards Arrabbiata 2. An uphill camber corner. And here's a replay that Mike has found for us earlier. This is Paul Day again, I believe. Last corner. And he's done almost exactly the same he did last time we saw him. Last corner, he's onto the grass, onto the gravel, and he just about kept it. And that's Edson. Mangaro's just gone past him. So he's gained that position back as Edson after he ended up on the grass earlier. As we rejoin with Boulding on track, chasing down Ben Brown. Heading towards the last corner on lap 20. With 9 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this race. On board now. See if we can close down on Ben Brown. See how much slipstream effect we get. As I said earlier, we top out on the rev limiter as we go down this straight. We're almost there at the limiter now, and Michael Boulding is pretty much sat on that limiter right now. So he's not going to gain anything now to Ben Brown, just a little bit of less wind resistance. Onto the brakes. Does he close in much? Ben keeps it nice and straight and in through that corner. No slides coming out. A bit later on the brakes there from Ben. Early from Michael Boulding. Loses a bit of time to him there. Oh, is that wide? But keeps it nice and flat. Looking back from Ben Brown's car and on board in your picture in the corner. Won't feel all the G-force effects that these drivers feel in the actual pod, but this is a very good shot. I like this. You can just about see the Cam Sport logo on the rear wing. And probably feel through the screen Ben Brown panicking as he worries how he's going to get this guy out from behind him. Bobby, they're calling him Bobby. It makes him say Bobby Brown, says Mike. Oh, closes massively on the brakes, says Michael Baldwin. Has that affected his exit through that corner though? It looks like it has. All four wheels off onto the tricolour curbs there. Closing in again on the brakes. Will it again affect him on exit? He seems to have held it this time round. Seems to have the number on Ben Brown in there. Oh, we've lost something. I can't quite see what's going on. Here we go. Still on board with Michael Baldwin in your corner. It looks like he's trying a little bit too hard to me. I don't know if anyone would agree with me, but he's trying a little bit hard to close up on the braking. Maybe if he just lets it come to him naturally, he'll close in on him. Slipstream effect out of the corner. Let's see if he closes in on him now. Hidden by the rear wing in the main picture. We can still see you, Michael. We can still see you. Does he close in? Doesn't seem to close that much on the slipstream. Now we can see him closing a little bit, little by little, as he comes towards the corner. Will he pull out? Will he stay station? He holds station, brakes a bit later, turns in later, holds a nice line, and he gains massively through there. Hound in the back of Ben Brown. Come through turn 2 and turn 3. Both keep it nice and on the curbs this time, no way onto the grass. I can see some track lines there where someone's been off into the gravel. Another chicane left and right as I head towards Casanova, the right-hander, another part of what I'd call a long S. Slight dab on the brakes, down right, to the left, heading towards the Arrabbiatas. Michael Baldwin takes a much wider line, he takes a lot of speed through that corner. It's Arrabbiata 1 taken care of, and Arrabbiata 2. It's a nice line through there from Ben Brown. Seems to have gained a bit of time again on Michael Baldwin. On the brakes, Michael Baldwin gains again. Will he lose it on the exit? No, he sees... Oh, slight slide there from Michael Baldwin. That will definitely cost him some time. This battle might go on till the end of this race. Just looking further ahead, I don't want to take too much away from this battle that's going on the track, but it seems that Alex may have, like I said earlier, this in the bag with a 10-second lead now back to Callum Cripps. Callum's tried as best as he can to keep on him, but Alex just had to reply for everything he's done. Baldwin again closing up on the brakes as we head into the final corner of Pichane. Is he going to try and stick in a slipstream, get a good exit? He got a half-decent exit there. He's about the same distance back as he was last lap. I can see the front nose cone under the wing, so he must be slightly closer. He's gaining, is he going to pull? He goes towards the outside as Ben Brown defends the inside of the track. Looking your picture in picture, you can see Baldwin on the outside, Brown on the inside. Leaving enough space, Baldwin's trying to hold it around the outside, but he's got no grip there. He slots back in behind Ben Brown. Well raced from both of those two. It's a good racecraft from both of them to leave enough space to facilitate the pass if it was going to happen, but also leave enough room for any mistakes that may have quite touched. Open wheelers don't like it when you touch, so doing a very good job there to make sure we don't ruin each other's races. This is for top 6, and it's the first round of a championship, so you want to bank as many points as possible. And I'm sure Jason, who I can just see behind this battle, is probably banking on them trying to battle quite hard so he can catch up with both of them. Seems to have gapped out a little bit further now since he tried that overtake at the first corner. So I'll do a quick rundown of the order for you as we head into the last 5 minutes of this race. So in first position is Alex Sadler. Second position we have Callum Cripps. Third place we have Christian Kelly, who we have here on board, looking back from his car after disaster at turn 1. Fourth place, Chris Hardwick, the reigning champion from last year's USSC. Fifth place, Stuart French, who's made up a lot of positions, 7 places to get up to where he is. Likewise, Ben Brown in 6th has made up 8 places. Baldwin has made up 1 place into 7th. Jason Eccles in 8th. Will Richardson, who we saw earlier going off at Arrabbiata 2 and being stuck in the gravel, has made his way back into 9th. Lopez has made his way into 10th, so he's done quite well to recover. Colin Talbot here, as we see on screen, battling with Edson Manguera, it seems. I can see a yellow in Sector 2, it just disappears again very quickly. This battle will probably go to the end as well, see how close Manguera can get onto him. Just to finish off, we have Paul Day in 13th after a couple of excursions at the last corner, which he probably wouldn't want. Pedro Baptista in 14th, and Phil Cox down in 15th position. As we ride here watching, coming towards the final turn of Mugello, Quite deep there on the brakes from Edson Mangera. Is he going to pull it back for a late apex? A lot of speed coming out. Colin seems to have got that wrong. Edson's right in the slipstream now of Colin Talbot. He pulls to the left-hand side of him. Did he go too early? Is he going to get this done before we get into Sondonato? We come across the line almost side by side. Colin would have had that if that was the last lap. Edson on the outside. Colin on the inside. Will they leave enough room? Who's going to brake first? Colin brakes first. Edson brakes far too late. Will he pick up a late apex to get back on the power early? All twitches. Almost loses it under the power, and Colin keeps that position for this lap. For that turn, should I say. As we head now towards Matarasi, another chicane on this track. Through the left-hander. I take this one in third gear. Some people take it in fourth still. I don't know how. As Mike points out a commenter, don't let him pass, Ben. I'm sure he's not trying to let him pass, but he's under all sorts of pressure from Michael Baldwin now. And I know that Carl will be sitting there going, unfortunately, he's probably not bet on it, but sixth place would be a good shout. Might put a lottery ticket on later, Carl, if you get this one right. I'm sure Baldwin will have something else to say about it. As we have picture-in-picture, we have the two Cam Sport battles going on with Michael Baldwin chasing down the Cam Sport car of Ben Brown and Colin Talbot being chased by Edson Mangera. What team would you say the Edson Mangera team is? Scuderia and Davizzi, they are in the SRES. I don't know if they're racing under the same moniker in this series, but it's quite a nice livery that I think Edson and Will both have. So Edson in the purple coloured car and Will Richardson is in the green one. As we see Ben Brown on the inside, Michael Baldwin on the outside, trying that line again, blocks him off, doesn't give him anywhere to go. Which is going to be a defensive drive all the way to the end with Ben Brown with the Anxiety UK car. And Jason Eccles does appear to be closing in on them slightly every lap. If this carries on, I think this might be 2 laps to go with outside where he is on the track with only 1 minute 30 to run. Colin Talbot still looks to fend off of Edson Mangera as they come down towards the first corner again. Edson goes to the outside, Colin defends the inside, pulls it tight to the apex. Edson's got nowhere to go, keeps that defence running really strong for the whole race. Just having a look at these lap times here, I'm going to see whether Eccles is catching on to the back of these two in our main picture of Ben Brown and Michael Baldwin. So last lap, Ben Brown, a 145.1, Baldwin a 144.8, Eccles a 145.3, so he's not catching them, unfortunately for Jason. He needs to try a little bit hard to get onto the back of these two, or hope that Ben Brown slows his pace to try and hold Baldwin up a little bit more. Otherwise, it looks like he's going to be stuck in that 8th position for the rest of the race as Baldwin closes now really right onto the back of him through the Biondetti chicanes. Coming towards the last final corner. Hairpin, he pulls to the inside. And he thinks better of it. He brakes earlier. He pulls to the inside, just showing he's playing mind games now with Ben Brown. Saying, I'm going to overtake you at some point. I'm going to get you. As we head towards the final lap of the race, I'm sure. 30 seconds to go on the clock. Where is Alexander on track? Looking at our track map. Yeah, he's definitely not going to get to the line before 20 seconds are up, as he's just heading towards the Arabiatas himself. As we see now, Ben Brown and Michael Baldwin side by side coming towards Sondonato. Baldwin holding the outside line again. Ben holds the inside, keeps it on the apex, defends the line. Baldwin doesn't get any grip on the outside line, has to tuck back in behind him. Same for Edson Mangera here on Colin Talbot into the final corner. Edson goes and Colin blocks off the apex, nowhere for him to go. Can he get the power on early from Edson? And Eccles definitely has closed down now. I can see that on track, on camera. He's closed down through this sector on Ben Brown and Michael Baldwin. As again, cross the line for the final lap of the race. Edson pulls alongside Colin Talbot going into the first corner. Will he get it done this time? He looks to be in front. Talbot holds the inside line. Mangera tries to hold it round the outside. Will he get any grip? Oh, cuts to the inside. Nowhere for him to go. Colin holds the line. Yeah. And Sadler's just finished the race. Sorry to miss that one, but Alex Sadler has won this race. Followed by, it would seem, Callum Cripps is coming towards the line now. Hasn't quite finished the race yet. Baptista takes a checker flag with a lap down. In 14th place as Cripps follows through. So still watching these two races finalise here. Kelly takes third, Chris Hardwick fourth. Just in front of this battle on our main screen is Stuart French, who takes the checker flag as well. So who is going to take sixth? Will it be Brown? Will it be Baldwin? It's going to be a straight finish, a straight shoot out to the finish line. Will he get the exit here? Baldwin pulls it straight into a slipstream of Ben Brown. He's right on the back of him. He's almost in the car. He pulls out. Can he do it for the line? It's not going to be possible. Ben Brown takes sixth place as Baldwin takes 7th. Eccles comes home in 8th, just behind these two. On our main screen now, we can still see Talbot defender from Mangera. Richardson, it looks like he's going to take the checker flag in 9th position. As we head down towards the Biondetti 1, Richardson takes 9th. Biondetti 2. Mangera is running out of time. Can he make this pass into the final corner? Can he do it over the straight? It doesn't seem you can do it under slipstream, as we saw Boulding earlier. Oh, he makes a lunge. Just about misses the back of Colin Talbot. Lopez takes 10th. This is the exit. I feel that Mangera's ruined this now by making that lunge into the last corner. Talbot should have this to the line. There's no way Mangera can make that now. So Talbot comes home in 11th, Mangera in 12th. And Paul Day, after a few excursions earlier into the last corner, will bring up 13th. Baptista 14th and Phil Cox in 15th. We're going to take a short break now, and then I don't know if we're going to have any interviews. We are going to have, no, maybe not. Maybe not, but we'll probably head to the podium in a short while. Thank you very much for watching us.
Thank you very much, guys, for watching the stream at home, and thank you to the guys in the venue for a very great race and very clean racing, some good battles for positions throughout the race, some interesting takes on strategy as well. We now go to the podium presentation, and taking third place was Christian Kelly. Comeback drive from Christian today. Big round of applause, please. Christian's come in, he decided to have a cigarette. Come on, Christian. He's just coming down now. Just want to make your way to the left. Taking second position today, providing us some early entertainment in the race. Big round of applause, please, for Callum Cripps. And our race winner today, with a fairly dominant performance, with an 11.5-second lead at the end of the race. Big round of applause, please, for Alex Sadler. Sean's just going to take a quick picture for the results on Facebook and stuff like that, which you can pay attention to. Okay, guys, just another big round of applause for our top three as they come off the podium. And if our top three could stay on the podium, I'm now going to hand over to Sean, who is going to interview you all on the podium.
Yeah, we're doing this F1 style now. So we're going to work from first position backwards. So first of all, I'm going to say congratulations to Alex on your first round. So obviously, we know you're a very quick driver from the SRES, but it seemed you had great control in that race. Made short work of Callum at one point at the first corner and then disappeared off into the distance. Was that the main strategy?
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed with the qualifying. I made a mistake. I knew I had the pace for the race win. It was quite difficult to get past Callum at the early stage of the race. It was difficult to follow in the dirty air. But once I did it, I was able to push through in a good, clean race, come on with the win.
You had a fastest lap faster than any qualifying lap we did, which was a 42.8, I believe. How did you pull that out after the fresh? Was it just the low fuel and fresh tyres?
Yeah, it would be the fresh tyre, low fuel. It was my first push lap off since the stop, and I decided to go for the fastest lap, so really pushed through it then.
So, quick question, are you here for every round of the season? Are you planning to take the whole championship by storm?
Yeah, I'm looking to do so, yeah. I plan to be here every time, so looking to grab the championship.
Thanks for a good race, and we'll see you at the next round as well. So as we move on to second place, Callum Cripps, so ever smiling. You're not having it. So it looked like a bit stressful for you. So you look like you had it in the bag at one point. I thought you were going to stay in the slipstream of Alex and try and stick with him the race. How did it fall out for you?
Yeah, not very well. Obviously, I went really heavy at the start, and I thought I'll just manage it as it goes. But it turns out I was using way too much lock on the steering, so I was just scrubbing the tyres quite a bit. So in my second stint, I altered my driving style, so I had a lot more left. But yeah, when I thought I checked my tyres the lap before I pitted, and I looked and my fronts were 0%, so I was like, okay, I probably need to pit now. And obviously, Chris Hardwick at the time was catching me massively, so yeah, and it was a good battle with Alex as well. He just completely done me out and square, really, absolutely humiliated me. So yeah, no, it did really well. It was a good race. I enjoyed it.
But you're going to come back next time and try and humiliate Alex, is that right?
It's on my birthday weekend, so I might not be as bright-eyed and bush-tailed as I am now, but yeah, it should be all right. It should be good. So.
It's Dubai Circuit next. Is that one of you know quite well, or is it something you have to learn before you get to it?
I do know it. I do know it quite well, so I should be able to eke out. To be honest, I know Mugello as well, so it's not something really massively. I normally pick up tracks pretty quick. So yeah, it's just seeing how it goes. Hopefully, I might have the edge on the next round and do actually some practice, because I didn't drive the track or car before I came here at all. So putting it on par, I was quite happy with that. But there we go. Race didn't work out, but there you go.
Again, it was a very good lap time from you, Callum, and a good race. Next time, hopefully, it's the wheel of the win. So thank you very much. We'll see you next time round.
Cheers. You're very good at this, aren't you? Wow.
As we move to third place of Christian Kelly, another one who's actually wasn't that fresh. Callum mentioned his birthday weekend. It wasn't a birthday weekend for Christian, but he's had a bit of a heavy night last night. Bit of an off there at the first corner for you at the start of the race, which put you a bit down in last, if I remember correctly, but you made your way back to third. How was it for you in that race? Nothing else to say other than it was good fun. You really... You might want to repeat the last question. Oh, okay. So apparently that one's not... So the last question was, yeah, we'll summarise it basically. His birthday's next round. You had a heavy night out last night. Trying to learn this track again. Yeah, it's deja vu all over again. How was? I know what you're.
It was good fun, and the start was poor, and that was it. It was. To be fair, I'll give you more of an answer. Right, it was a fun overtaking, fun trying to get back through. I'd have liked to have been up with these boys, and I wasn't today because I made a mistake at the first corner. That's my race, man.
You know what they say, you can't win at the first corner, you can definitely lose your race at the first corner, and that was the case for you today, I guess.
Thanks, man.
I'm very sorry about that. I just have to tell the truth. But you're definitely coming back for the next round, are you?
Yeah, so I'll be here for the duration. So third place, if I'd have had it at the start of the day, someone would have said to me, you'll get third, I'd have taken it. So it's pretty good.
Thank you very much for racing with us today, Christian. I look forward to seeing you next round.
Thank you so much, Sean.
And I was loving this. Thank you very much for joining us for the first round of the SRF this season. Hopefully we'll join you back on December the 19th, I believe it is, for Dubai Circuit. Cheers.